It's a common myth to think that people are either rich or not. On the contrary, there are several types of wealthy people who have different characteristics and lifestyles. First, there are the Kardashians, Drake, Beyonce, Cristiano Ronaldo, and other famous stars, who managed to acquire their wealth through their talents. Also, there are the Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk types of wealthy people, who earned their riches through hard work, innovative thinking, and technology. Finally, some like Walton, Mars, and Koch gained their vast fortunes through family businesses and investments. Then there are the Rothschilds, the richest family in the world. Indeed, they're in a league of their own, and no one can come even close to their colossal wealth. Their vast fortune has inspired hundreds, if not thousands, of conspiracy theorists who are adamant that the Rothschilds are the ones controlling the world. I don't know about that, but if the Rothschilds are not controlling you at the moment, and you are interested to find out more about the luxurious lives of the richest of the rich, hit that subscribe button if you already haven't, and ring the bell to get notified every time we upload a new video. The Rothschilds weren't always surrounded by luxury and wealth. Their story has a humble beginning in the Middle Ages, when they lived in the Jewish ghetto of the German city of Frankfurt. The family name comes from their ancestral home. Back then, houses weren't designated by numbers, but by symbols above the door. Rothschild's home had a red shield, which in German, with the old spelling, is Rothschild. In 1769, the Rothschild patriarch Mayer Amschel Rothschild was hired by the Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse. Once the young prince came into power in 1785, he appointed Mayer to manage his kingdom's finances as a court Jew. While such a position will be highly offending today, during this age, it was one of the highest honors a Jewish person could have in Catholic-dominated Europe. Every wealthy aristocrat had a court Jew, whom they entrusted with managing their money. The Bible forbade lending money in exchange for profit. While most aristocrats had the moral compass of a drunken chimpanzee in a brothel, they needed to keep their God-obeying appearance, or they risked losing not only the respect of their peers, but their lands and wealth as well. Many Jews, like the Rothschilds, saw this as an opportunity to gain vast riches. With the money he earned, Mayer quickly managed to open a bank and send his son Nathan to London. This helped Mayer transfer Wilhelm's fortune in London during the Napoleonic Wars, and even financed the British in their fight. After the Napoleonic Wars, Mayer's other 4 sons opened other banks in Paris, Naples, and Vienna. They predominantly helped aristocrats in their time of financial crisis. They lent huge amounts of money to the countries where they had financial capital in exchange for handsome interests in times of war or when whole countries were on the verge of bankruptcy. So, it turned out that Rothschilds were funding and profiting from every war during the 19th century in Europe. And believe me, there wasn't a shortage. Financing both sides in a conflict, causing devastation and misery, is not the definition of ethical, in my humble opinion, but no one can argue with the result. Today, the Rothschilds' vast fortune is the topic of just as many myths as there are stars in the sky. Some sources claim the wealthiest family owns about 500 trillion US dollars. That's, however, not just hard to believe, but practically impossible, since the whole world's capital is estimated to be around 1 to 2 quadrillion. So a family controlling quarter to a half of the entire world's money is beyond crazy. Most sources estimate their wealth at around 500 billion to 1 trillion USD. That's about 2 to 4 times more than the following wealthiest individual, Elon Musk. Although the primary source of the Rothschilds' fortune are their banks, over the years they've branched out in mining, transport, real estate, art, and stocks as well. They have a minority share in the Suez Canal, and legend says they have 30% shares in all major banks worldwide. While I highly doubt the latter, the Rothschilds clearly won't end up leaving under the bridge anytime soon. The Rothschilds' lifestyle is shrouded in mystery. They are experts in hiding both their true fortune, which may be bigger than the whole Southern Hemisphere combined, and their personal lives. Nonetheless, from time to time, we can have a glimpse of the extravagant life they lead behind closed doors. Unlike many pop stars, the Rothschilds don't waste their money on flashy and fancy items that hold little investment value. Most of their purchases have one task and one task only: to bring them more money over time. They have a vast collection of art and are one of the most significant contributors to art museums around the world. For example, among many other things, they donated the $40,000 worth 4th century Lycurgus cup to the British Museum. During the Nazi occupation of France, around 3,500 works of art were taken from the Rothschilds' estates, as Hitler himself came to take his pick from the prized possessions. After the war, most art pieces were returned, but some remain unfound up to this day. The Rothschilds are probably the biggest gold owners in the world. They don't simply have the precious metal, but have shares in gold mines as well. Unlike some extravagant narco bosses' children, though, they don't have golden cars or AK-47s, but gold bars, tons and tons of them. Recently, Jacob Rothschild exchanged massive amounts of British pounds and USD with gold, which many financial experts read as troubling for the Western economies. Now about 8% of Jacob's assets are in gold. The Rothschilds have probably one of the most extensive portfolios in real estate in the world, with mansions, estates, chateaux and villas from the United States to Israel. Their properties can be the envy of any royal family. They have over 13 lavish manors in Buckinghamshire alone, each one worth well over $10 million. Waddesdon Manor is probably their crown jewel, which is open to the public. Over 450,000 people visit this lavish home to take a glimpse of Rothschild's lifestyle and class. The family is believed to have $20 to $25 billion worth of real estate around the world. Recently, the family sold a piece of land as large as Manhattan in Austria for a cool $112 million. Well, of course, some luxury purchases aren't precisely investments. For example, Nat Rothschild bought a super yacht worth over $100 million. The Planet 9, as the yacht is called, can accommodate 16 guests and the crew, consisting of 26 people. 2 Caterpillar engines push the large ship with up to 16 knots. The yacht has a helicopter deck as well, for guests to arrive and leave as they please. Nat is the proud owner of an ultra-expensive deluxe private jet worth more than $60 million. The Bombardier Global 6000 is one of the priciest planes on the market and can accommodate up to 14 passengers in an ultra-luxurious setting. Nat's purchases, however, fade compared to his extravagant great-granduncle's purchases. Walter Rothschild remains one of the most thriftiest Rothschilds up to date. With his passion for zoology, he spent immense amounts of money purchasing exotic animals like a giant tortoise, hundreds of birds, and even zebras. The eccentric billionaire trained 3 zebras to pull his carriage around London. Walter established the biggest collection of specimens the world has ever seen. He sold his bird collection to the American Museum of Natural History in New York in his late years. After his death, the rest of his phenomenal collection was donated to the Natural History Museum as well. What happened to the zebras, I have no idea, although I'd guess they died of embarrassment long before Walter. The Rothschilds are most famous for the conspiracies they inspire as early as the 18th century. Their vast wealth is responsible for numerous anti-Semitic myths during that period, like how Jews controlled the world's money. The family is associated with the Illuminati, the New World Order, the 5-dimensional lizards that control the world, and dozens upon dozens of other insane theories. In reality, the Rothschilds are just a huge family of wealthy people who try to avoid the public's curiosity and prefer to live their luxurious lives in private. What is the most insane Rothschild conspiracy you've ever heard? Share it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.